Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Great to have you with us.
Yeah, good to be diving in again.
Today, we're tackling the really fascinating world of luxury fashion.
Specifically Vogue magazine.
Exactly. Vogue and its, well, legendary leader, Anna Wintour. We're basing this deep dive on a really compelling article from Forbes. It's called Anna Wintour's Vogue and the Reckoning of Fashion's Last Empress. And it's written by Lilian Raji.
And Lilian really knows her stuff in this space.
Oh, absolutely. Let me just give you a bit of background. She's a global luxury communications advisor, a fractional CMO, columnist, and president of the Lilian Raji agency.
Right. She's advised top luxury brands for, what, over 2 decades?
That's right. Plus, she founded the PR advisor that came out of her long-running column in National Jeweler magazine, offering PR guidance, training for smaller brands.
And her Forbes column, The Pursuit of Luxury, is all about how these brands use emotional marketing. Really gets into the customer psychology.
It does. So her article, the one we're looking at, it really examines these dramatic shifts, the big questions around Vogue's future now that its empress, Anna Wintour, is facing this, well, this reckoning Lilian talks about.
It's more than just who takes over, isn't it?
Way more. It gets into the survival of the magazine itself, the brand. The big question really is, who can succeed Anna Wintour, and what kind of challenges are they really going to inherit?
Okay, let's get into it.
Yeah, let's unpack this.
So Lilian starts off right away highlighting the intense speculation in the industry about who's next.
Yeah, that Sanchez Bezos rumor was pretty wild.
Right. Jeff Bezos' wife may be eyeing the top job at Vogue, potentially through him buying Condé Nast, a dramatic way to open, really shows the power dynamics.
And the reactions Lilian captured. Wow. They tell you a lot.
Definitely. Like that publicist speculating Wintour announced stepping down because Sanchez Bezos was on a digital cover, implying Wintour wasn't happy.
Or the magazine founder saying if Sanchez Bezos takes over, it's the end of Vogue. Pretty strong words.
Shows how deep those feelings run, sort of in internal politics. You had another editor scoffing, like, Bezos' wife will never be head of editorial content under Anna.
But Lilian also includes the other side, right?
Yeah.
The publicist defending Sanchez Bezos.
Yeah, saying she's extremely bright and talented, could bring integrity back, although apparently that got laughing emojis in response.
Ah, yeah. But that publicist's comeback, that hit hard.
Oh, absolutely. Saying Vogue doesn't know their demographic and readership has been in deep decline year after year. That cuts right to the core issue of relevance, beyond the gossip.
Okay, so the gossip sets the stage, but Lilian's main point seems deeper. She pulls back the curtain on Condé Nast's finances.
Exactly. That's the bigger, maybe more dramatic story here. This isn't just leadership drama. It's about the parent company's survival.
So how does she connect Condé Nast's problems to Vogue's future specifically?
Well, the crucial insight is that even if Vogue seems okay on its own, its fate is tied to Condé Nast. And Condé Nast has been bleeding money.
Right, chronic deficits for like a decade and a half.
Yeah, losses over $120 million just in 2017. I mean, think about that number. In luxury fashion publishing.
Wow.
They've had rounds of layoffs, sold off magazines like Brides, Golf Digest, W, just trying to stop the bleeding.
There was that brief profit in 2021, but it didn't stick.
Nope. Profits crashed again. Went from about $29 million pre-tax in 2022 down to just over $10 million in 2023. It's reshaping the whole publishing empire out of sheer necessity.
Which makes selling Vogue House in London, their UK base for 60 years,
For $87.5 million.
seem less like a one-off and more like, okay, selling assets is now part of the plan.
Definitely a signal.
So is Vogue itself actually safe from this? Or is it, just the best-looking house on a shaky foundation? Lilian does suggest Wintour hasn't totally messed up Vogue itself.
That's a key distinction she makes. Vogue's circulation decline, it's actually been pretty modest compared to the rest of the industry.
Okay.
And its total reach across all platforms is still massive, 117 million. Digital revenue is now bigger than print.
And events like the Met Gala.
Huge. They bring in serious money. Lilian mentions it generated like $543 million in media impact value. That's basically quantifying how much buzz it creates online and in news.
So the events are still incredibly powerful revenue
Yep,
streams.
absolutely. So the next leader isn't inheriting a disaster, financially speaking. They get a working machine.
Yeah.
But it's a machine inside a parent company that's financially very precarious. So you have to ask, is Vogue's success down to Wintour alone, or is the brand name just that strong?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Or maybe billion-dollar, given the context.
Yeah.
And even with that relative strength, Lilian argues there's a deeper issue. an identity crisis. Its relevance is being questioned.
Right. Influence has shifted so much to social media. Trends blow up and vanish in days.
And Vogue is still largely on a monthly print cycle, while TikTok creators dictate youth culture, wanting everything instantly.
Yeah. And Lilian compares Vogue's digital reach to People Styles. It's quite revealing.
People styles #1.
By a mile. Almost 200 million site visits compared to Vogue's 18 million or so. It shows Vogue's old gatekeeper model, telling people what's stylish, is just being outpaced by platforms focused on immediate, massive engagement.
Its digital adaptation hasn't really worked then.
Seems not. Rachel Weingarten, the beauty historian Lilian quotes, points out that Wintour was style embodied, but maybe not so much anymore. Gen Z has different influences, and readers are tired of the obsessive celebritization of print.
And beyond just trends, Lilian gets into this idea that Vogue's core aspirational model. It feels kind of tone-deaf now.
Yeah, especially to a younger generation dealing with economic uncertainty, that old idea of luxury. It doesn't land the same way.
So what is it that Vogue is fundamentally misunderstanding about aspiration today, according to Lilian's analysis?
Well, like you said, Gen Z isn't seeing $670 trench coats as steals. And more importantly, they don't see themselves reflected authentically in the magazine.
Sharman Levy, the consultant Lilian spoke to, mentioned diversity efforts feeling performative.
Exactly. Levy says a deeper shift hasn't happened. There needs to be real space for new perspectives, especially from marginalized communities.
It makes you think about that quote from Leah Miller, the marketing strategist.
Yeah. A brand like Vogue now has to decide whether it leads the next cultural movement or holds on to the last one. That sums it up pretty well.
And Lilian takes it even further, looking at the psychological impact.
Right, citing Brianna Sefcik, the trauma specialist. Her point is powerful. When young women only see one narrow version of beauty pushed constantly.
They start to devalue themselves.
Exactly. And when media is trauma-informed, it goes beyond just surface inclusion. It actually helps people feel seen, feel confident. It's a heavy responsibility Vogue has in shaping how people see themselves.
So whoever steps in next, it's a real catch-22.
Totally. They have to rebuild trust with a whole generation that feels alienated.
While Anna Wintour is still there, in that new headed editorial content role, basically still holding the reins.
It's an incredibly tough job, modernizing an institution when the outgoing leader hasn't really, well, gone.
So given all that complexity, who does Lilian see as the likely contenders?
Okay, so the article analyzes the top candidates. Kyo Minotti, currently at British Vogue, seems like the obvious internal choice.
A safe pair of hands.
Kind of. She has the institutional knowledge Condé Nast usually likes. Effie Kanua, formerly at Hearst PR, notes Anati has balanced heritage and innovation at British Vogue. So safe, but maybe still progressive.
But Lilian mentions others too, representing different paths.
Definitely. Jenny Davis, the fashion media professor, names Samara Nasser from Harper's Bazaar, and Lindsay Peoples.
Oh, Lindsay Peoples. Lilian seems quite high on her.
Yeah, calls her a shining star. Young, smart, stylish, talented. She's a Condé Nast alum from Teen Vogue, and her success turning The Cut into a standalone print magazine.
When everyone else is ditching print.
Right. Plus, co-founding the Black and Fashion Council shows a real commitment to inclusion. She looks like a candidate who could drive genuine change.
A bolder choice. What about Chloe Malley at Vogue.com?
She's mentioned, too, favored by Vanessa Friedman at the New York Times. Her digital background is a plus for reaching younger readers.
Right.
But Lilian's sources suggest her closeness to Wintour might actually hold her back from making the radical changes needed. She might be hesitant to move too far from Wintour's shadow.
Interesting dynamic. And then there's Edward Enninful.
The dream candidate for some, it seems, even though he just launched his own company, EE72.
Right.
As the former editor of British Vogue, he really proved you could embrace inclusivity and maintain that luxury feel. He showed it could be done.
So he represents that proven bridge between the old world and the new demands.
Exactly. It's a fascinating range of possibilities.
And this whole shift, Lilian argues, it changes things for marketers too, right? For CMOs in fashion and luxury.
Big time. Her analysis suggests that with Wintour maybe stepping back from that singular gatekeeper role, brands that were previously overlooked might get a real chance to innovate and get noticed.
Nicole Farber, the marketing CEO, called it the good old boys network changing.
Yeah, creating space for new voices, new approaches, it's essential.
And it's already happening, practically speaking. Karen Cleaver at Underground Marketing talked about PR teams literally restructuring approval processes.
Right. A 40% jump in content requests because agencies need to build these autonomous brand voices that aren't just trying to please one person, Wintour.
It's not just theory. It's impacting day-to-day operations.
And creative strategies, too. Peeler Scratch, the celebrity stylist Lilian interviewed.
She's already prepping looks for a Vogue-less future.
Kind of. More inclusive sizing, bolder colors, gender-fluid styles. She's actively pitching stories around diversity, tech, sustainability, positioning brands to be ready when Vogue itself inevitably rebrands.
So what could that modernized Vogue actually look like?
Well, Kantija Sluka from One March PR suggests it might become more personality-driven. Behind-the-scenes access, editors having more direct voice, way more video, creator collabs.
Pillar Scratch even mentioned TikTok tutorials, AI wardrobes, metaverse stuff.
Yeah, but still emphasizing the real-world stuff, too, like pop-ups and styling clinics. It's a mix.
Lillian's core conclusion seems to be that marketers just have to accept Wintour's old playbook. Is not going to work with the next generation.
Exactly. It boils down to an existential challenge for Vogue. It's not just about tweaking things. It's about fundamentally changing how it wields influence, moving away from top-down authority.
Towards something built on actual community engagement.
Right, which really redefines what luxury authority even means today.
So Lillian's analysis really paints a stark picture. Vogue's survival hinges on whether it can truly reflect this a diverse, changing world, or if it just clings to the past definitions of luxury.
A pivotal moment for the brand.
Absolutely. We strongly recommend you read Lillian's full article on Forbes. It's incredibly insightful.
Yeah, definitely worth the read.
And if you want more of Lillian's analysis on the luxury industry generally, check out her website. It's www.lilianraji.com.
And this whole situation really leaves you thinking, doesn't it? In a world where culture and relevance are shaped more and more by communities, by individual voices online, what does luxury even mean today?
Yeah. And how much longer can the traditional institutions really dictate that narrative?
A big question.
Definitely something to mull over. Thanks so much for joining us for this deep dive into the future of fashion and Vogue.
Thanks for listening.